that like we have to ask permission and raise our hand to drink water, go to the bathroom, do, you know, these things that like from a young age we were taught, like you have to raise your hand, you have to ask to go to the water fountain, to go to the restroom, whatever. And if you're told no, like you have to hold it. And that's actually denying our body's mechanism that is telling our brain stuff. And I know it seems like so simple when listening to it, but it actually makes a huge impact because we're actually teaching kids, like, don't listen to your body.
Yep.
We're teaching 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, no. Don't listen to your body, listen to me because I'm the authority.
Yep.
And so then like that actually creates huge conflict in kids, and as adults that carries over because we learn to literally disconnect from what our body, our inner knowing, or this like animal, like I don't even, is animal the right word? It's like this mechanism that like we're hardwired, designed for. We're taught like, no, that's not correct, but the authority is correct. So, and to honor and not deny the authority, deny yourself, deny your body. And that's hugely problematic because when you're a kid, right, kids are like so intuitive and so in tune, and they have they have such good instincts. And when we start to like separate from that at a really young age, it's dangerous almost, because that's when, you know, we open windows for abusers to come in, for that gut feeling of like, this person's not safe, which a lot of kids are really capable of tuning into. And adults, we miss those cues. And then when, you know, we have children come to us later in life, say like, well, this person in our life abused me, or this happened. And we're like, how did I miss it? When maybe our kids came to us and said like, well, I mentioned that I don't feel safe, or I mentioned this thing. And it was like, you mentioned, Kayla, like that concept of like, don't talk about that. No, ignore that. Like, that's just whatever. And that is like a very real thing that goes on in the world. And so that's kind of part of that separation that carries over. And even if you didn't experience like a big trauma like that, there may be a scenario in which something littler did happen in that way. And then like the outcome did inform the long-term behavior, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how it's like the small little things that start to add up over time that communicate to us like, don't listen to your own body, don't listen to your cues, you can wait, you can put it off, it's not that important. Listen to the authority. When you were mentioning like children and they're so intuitive, sometimes that shows up even as like, no, I don't want to hug this person. No, but you will hug them because they're family. And it's like, no, but the child is listening to something, maybe, or maybe they're just being silly in that moment, but maybe not. Like, and so we over time have these experiences where we're being denied our own inner knowing, and that adds up over time. And then you find yourself in adulthood where you don't listen to your body's cues, where you're like, oh, I'm gonna put off eating because like I have all these things to do today, and or I have to take care of XYZ thing, or I'm not gonna take a break at work today, even though like I really need to and want to, but like I have all these things that I have to do. And that's part of, you know, the conditioning that we're talking about, is like setting ourselves up for this in adulthood, to get like maximum performance out of us. We don't listen to the cues for our need to rest. And so we find ourselves saying yes to things that we really don't want to say yes to. And so we find ourselves feeling so depleted and burnt out and exhausted and frustrated or angry or resentful. So like all these things start coming up on the other side of denying our intuition and denying ourselves actually honoring and listening to and responding to our body's cues and just the intuition, the inner knowing that we have.